What is up, everybody? My name is Isaias, live at îLESONIQ for the 9th anniversary here, and we're here with SampliFire.
Let's go.
How are you doing today?
Great. I just played my set. First time îLESONIQ for me. Sorry. Let's do it again.
Tu parles français
Ouais,
aussi?
je parle français.
Ah, pour vrai?
Je parle
Alors
français.
de France aussi.
Voilà. Je viens de France. Je sais pas, on fait en français? Do in
On
English?
peut faire les deux ensemble
Alright.
si tu veux même.
So yeah, first time playing îLESONIQ, that was insane. Look, like I didn't expect such a good crowd for a 3 p.m. set. Like we packed the stage essentially, and then my buddy Infect was playing after, and yeah, amazing. Yeah.
It must be actually great whenever you have the chance to, because of course you and Infect know each other from like Disciples and all that, right?
Yeah.
So it must be great to be on a lineup with like friends that
It's
you guys
amazing.
have worked together.
Oh yeah,
past,
and,
right?
like we also planned so that the end of my set was the beginning of this set with our collab.
Right.
So like it's perfect because it's so smooth for the crowd. Even like they don't really have to wait or anything because we plan everything to be smooth, almost like a 2-hour set in a sense.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, we played our brand new collab called. I mean, the current name is True Trench Time, but like it might change when it's released. So.
And if you don't mind me asking, do you have actually any shows that we should be expecting to see you this year, maybe for 2025 in Montreal?
Oh, for Montreal, I've got some offers that came through. Obviously, before îLESONIQ, we couldn't announce anything or anything.
Of course.
I don't think we locked anything yet. I might have some club shows at the end of the year around here,
Okay.
but nothing confirmed 100% yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any major shows for like for upcoming festivals international anywhere?
Yeah. I mean, Lostlands
Yeah,
playing the
it's
main
true,
stage
is
this
it?
year as
Oh,
well. Yeah.
congrats.
Second time playing Lostland and first time main stage, so super excited about that. Definitely a big set. Red Rocks with Slender. Second time as well. I did Subtronics for the first time a few months ago.
Wow.
Let me see. I mean, I'm lucky enough to play a lot of festivals this year and next year as well, like Nocturnal, Apocalypse, Get Freaky in Salt Lake City. So I'm hitting a lot of spots that I wasn't able to play before, and îLESONIQ is part of it as well. Yeah.
Wow.
For North America, so it's been amazing.
That's great. Hey, I have a question actually to ask you because, you know, of course you've inspired a lot of people to start production and all that.
Yeah.
What was your first step into wanting to start producing? How, like, was there a song that you heard from dubstep? Did you start with dubstep actually when you first produced, or?
That's a good question. So at first, I was just curious about how do you make electronic music. I was just curious. I understood that the DJs weren't really making the song live. I didn't really know how people made songs. So I was like, maybe they need a lot of synths and gear, which was true back then. But I started producing around 2011. So I got FL Studio. I didn't really know how it worked, so I was making some sort of like techno or electro, like, you know.
Right.
And then, you know, I just stick to it.
Wow.
And after a few years, I want to say 2014, I was able to make songs,
Yeah.
dubstep songs. And then, you know, every year I just continued and you know, it got more serious too, to the point of now it's my job. You know, it's been my job for 6 years now.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And would you, so people that you actually started first, like, let's say production and all that, was there like Ivory and all that was there?
Yeah,
Since he's also
Ivory
from
was
France?
there just before me, and that was definitely like my first like true link to the scene, because like I come from a small town in France called Brest,
Okay.
on the, you know, the west side of France. It's Brittany. I don't know if people know about that. So nobody was making bass music, like nobody, like let alone producing. You know, it's kind of weird. Like, why was I doing that? I was playing soccer before. My friends were playing soccer. You know, I was like, so I was, and in my family, my dad is a big consumer of music, but not really musician.
Okay.
So I was the first one in my family, and so it
So
took
like
me
an
years.
audiophile kind of person.
My dad definitely.
Yeah.
So that was the first link to it, and then I linked with Ivory on Facebook, and then my first show in 2015 was also with Ivory back to back. So it goes along, like basically Ivory and I go to the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, my first show. So you can't go before that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, okay, well, we have a little segment here, Sammy.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, it's called digging in the crate.
All right.
So we bring something out of history, like something that we found, okay? Really deeply in the social media, and you have to give us a little explanation, okay? As to what exactly was going on. It has nothing to do with, music and all that, but you need to give us a little context.
Oh my god. Okay, so people will see the picture.
Of course, we're gonna actually put it on the screen and all that.
That's okay. So I can easily answer that. So that was my first time is it called jet ski? No, ski.
Yes.
Ski nautique, je sais pas
ski
comment.
nautique, ouais, ski nautique. Ouais, on peut dire en français,
We're
absolument.
gonna do the translation
Yeah,
here,
of course.
guys. So I was with my parents in Egypt. I was super lucky to go on holidays there with my parents, and yeah, I was just saw the boat there. I was like, I want to do that, and I was proud of myself because I didn't fall once.
You are
First
actually,
time. The picture is the first time I did it.
You're kicking ass.
I should have done that instead of dubstep, bro.
Exactly.
Trust me.
You're talking about you playing soccer and all that. I think you could have been in the Olympics doing this actually.
Not anymore though. The music is not super aesthetic, right?
Well, that's it.
But that was fun, yeah. That was easy, man.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
thank you for that memory.
No problem. Also, I was going to ask you too. As for we talked about shows that were coming up and all that. Is there any collaborations that we should be expecting in regards of releases and all that?
And I'm definitely lucky to have a lot of collaboration from artists that I didn't even imagine. Like Marshmello is one of them. Like it came out recently, so I gotta plug that one.
Yeah.
And I've got one with Sudden Death that's not released. I played it tonight. I got a few one with Infect, Ivory, of course, Murda, my homies. Like all the time, we work together all the time.
What's the name of that collab? That project you guys actually have together?
Tug and Good, yeah.
Tug and Good.
So Murda started Tug as a joke about rhythm back then. Because back then rhythm wasn't it was still a joke. I don't know why, but it was less serious. Or I'm not saying it's serious now, but it's established now.
Yeah.
And back then it was still very underground. And he started Tug as a way to release rhythm there, and I started Good. And I was like, okay, let's just make songs there for fun. And now, because my sound became more and more, rhythm trench, whatever you call it, I feel like SampliFire and Good is almost the same now.
Right.
So that project is fun, but it's like, I don't know where it's going. But it's been fun to make songs with Murda, aka Tug Forever, for sure, yeah.
That is great.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of time left, actually. And, of course, a lot of, how the dubstep scene is very, very strong here in Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
We want to, before we end actually the interview, we want to know if there's any sort of messages that you would say for because we have a lot of local talents, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are putting their time into, into the DAW and all that, trying to produce and all that.
Yeah.
What would you have as a message to them that you'd like to tell them, from your experience
Yeah.
and all that?
Like, it's not to plug myself, but I've been teaching and giving lessons for a few years now, and the main things that can help you, and I think people in Montreal are able to do that, is build a community around yourself. Right. Even when you start, like a small community of producers from your area that want to make it, want to produce, and want to get serious about it.
Yeah.
That community, that group of friends will be pushing you more than mentorship or lessons or anything, because you're basically competing with your friend. It's a fun competition, right? But it is a competition where you're trying to match your buddies, like new bass or whatever they do, right? So that's one thing. Community, group of friends want to make it, and then seek help from, you don't need to do a lot, but a few lessons from producers that you look up to, or that do it, or you want to do that sound, can help. So you can combine knowledge from other producers, your own imagination and inspiration, your friends around you, and you combine that, and at the end of the day, it's just producing every day a little bit, even if it's like an hour, 30 minutes. Doing it more often, it's better than doing it like 10 hours every few weeks.
Exactly. It's like training, right?
Yeah,
You're
it's basically like
training.
athletes of music. You
Yeah.
could sing, it's cringe to say it, but it's kind of true.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're able to consistently produce on a good level music that match the crowd and can work, or doesn't have to be for the crowd, but if you want to play this stage, you kind of have to.
You're gonna have to, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, Sammy, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. Merci.
And,
ça fait plaisir.
Oui, hein? Et on peut faire ça en français juste pour
Merci,
le monde
merci,
de
Montréal.
Québec. Alors, tu veux-tu dire quelques mots pour les personnes francophones de
Bah
Montréal?
ouais, déjà merci beaucoup Montréal pour être venu à mon show ici à îLESONIQ pour la première fois, et pour tous les fois aussi où j'ai joué à Club Soda, skills back then with dropping bass. I mean, every show, arrivals back then, even
Arrivals
2019.
oui.
Donc ça fait vraiment des années que je viens ici. À chaque fois, vous êtes vraiment les meilleurs. L'un des meilleurs publics, c'est sûr, sur la planète. Ça, c'est évident, tout le monde le dit, mais c'est vrai. Hein. Donc merci Montréal, ça fait plaisir. En plus, on peut parler français.
Mais oui, on peut parler en français.
Donc ça fait plaisir aussi, x2. Donc merci beaucoup, franchement, et à la prochaine.
Merci beaucoup, Samy.
Merci. Ciao.